Hey guys, Corey with Camel. In the shop working on the T7. We're headed to Moab in a couple of weeks, so I'm trying to get last stuff done on the bike to make sure that it's ready to go, so I'm not doing it last minute, which is usually what happens. So the bike's almost done. Got a few fasteners left. I'm going to put the skid plate on. I go to put 2 bolts in and pull the threads out of one of the aluminum parts. There's a relatively easy fix, so I'm just going to do that. It's kind of a teachable moment. So I'm going to show you how to do thread repair if you do cross thread something really badly or you just pull the threads out of it. So these are rails that the skid plate mounts to. And then we've got our crash bar bracket here. And this is the foot peg carrier, and it is aluminum. So this piece comes along the back side here and it's threaded. So these bolts slide in. There's no threads left in the backside here. If I was just doing this to get it done, I might not even pull this part off of here. I might try and do it installed on the bike. Even though we have this stuff stacked on top, I might be able to get it. But for the few fasteners I need to take off, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take this off. I can put it in the vise and show you guys how to do it. So we've got our part off here. This is the one that's stripped. I'm going to actually drill them both out, and we're going to install HeliCoils. So HeliCoils are a really cool product. Use it a ton. We've got a bunch of sets in the shop. They come in different, every different thread size and pitch needs a different HeliCoil set. So they are not staying open. So these are, they look like little springs, but they're actually replacement threads for what you took out. So they will send you a drill bit, unless the drill bit you need is a common size, and you drill the part oversize, and then you use their provided tap, which is a funky size as well. So then this hole is threaded bigger than the M8 we need, and then you just turn one of these guys in, and then you have new threads. So this is really helpful, especially in aluminum parts, because now you have steel threads. So you're not turning bolts into aluminum anymore. You're turning them into steel threads. And yes, the steel threads are into the aluminum, but they are stronger. And this material too is not regular mild steel. So some of the connection points on the T7 that are steel, we'll do a thread replacement on them with the Helicoils because they're just more durable. But we're going to do both of these because this part has been on and off so many times for the R&D that we did with the brake pedal. So these threads just have really taken a beating. So we're going to drill both of these out. Then we will tap them with their special tap, and then we'll use their insert tool to put the threaded inserts in. So there's 3 different lengths here, and we're going to figure out the thickness of this material, which one is the best fit. If they're a little bit long, you take the grinder and zip the extra bit off. I'd rather have a little bit more than a little bit less. But the rule of thumb when it comes to fasteners, if you have an M8, so that's 8 millimeters wide, the maximum depth you need on a fastener is the same as the diameter. So as long as we have 8 millimeters of thread, then we're good to go. So this just removes all of the old thread and gives us a nice place to start to put the new stuff in. It seems like it's time for a new battery. And then we're going to take their provided tap. I'm going to flip the part upside down because I can't swing the tap handle in here. I'm going to put a little bit of A9 here on the tap to keep it from sticking. Makes it a little bit easier to tap the threads. So this is going nice and easy. When you're tapping, if you go in a half turn, come back about a quarter, go in a half, come back about a quarter, you're breaking the chip off. And you're less likely to break the tap, which isn't a big deal, generally speaking, in aluminum. Work through the other side. So there's no problem tapping these from the opposite direction, but we do want to make sure we put the helicoils in the same direction as the bolt will be inserted. So we'll check the thickness here. I think this is probably going to be the best helicoil. Yep, that's a good fit there. So then it comes with this cool little tool here, which is basically an M8 bolt that's got a lip cut on the end, or a tang, and it grabs this part of the coil. So you turn that guy in, and then when you go to spin them in, it has something to turn against, and you just spin these into the holes. And they do feel weird because they don't go in entirely straight right from the beginning, because they are sort of springish. This is less than ideal here. I might have to take the brake lever off to do this. We got the insert installed on the tool, and then we got the tool in the tap handle, and we're going to wind it in. And they are a bit funky going in sometimes. I'm going to turn this in just so the top is flush. So if I'd use the shorter coils, we wouldn't have to cut these off, but I'm going to zip these with the zip disc on the grinder. Normally you would just put this tool that also comes in the kit, you'd put it in the hole and give it a smack, and it snaps this little tab off here. But these are sticking out the back a little bit, so we're going to zip those real quick. So that's it. These threads are literally better than they were new, because now they're steel, and not just mild steel. They're much harder material. So these are going to be far more durable getting those frame rail bolts in. The next time I have the other side off, I will do the same thing, just as preventative measure. These kits are a bit on the expensive side. I want to say this is about 50 bucks, and it's only for M8 125, which is a really common motorcycle size. The other thing would be an M6 1.0 and an M10 1.5. It's great to have these in the garage ahead of time. Murphy's Law says if you're going to strip a thread out, it's going to be just before you go on that big trip, or just before you go out for a ride with your buddies, and you strip one and it ruins your ride. So if you plan ahead, get some of these guys. The only extra thing that you're really going to need is a tap handle. If you insert the right length of insert, you don't need a grinder or anything like that. Just a drill and tap handle. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this will save you some grief in the future.
Ho ho!